Hi guys, my name is Himanshi and I really like trekking, climbing and spending my time in the outdoors. I'd done a few high altitude Himalayan treks and then I wanted to challenge myself in some way. So I decided to go for the basic mountaineering course from Nehru Institute of Mountaineering, Uttarkashi. I registered and waited for 2 long years until my turn finally came in the summer of 2019. During this course, I was always tired, hungry, and sleepy. But in spite of all of that, it was the most fun I've ever had. And in this video, I'm going to tell you all about it. So let's begin. Ours was an all girls batch. We were 86 of us, and we were going to spend the next 28 days together. Our day would normally begin at 4:30 a.m., where we went for some kind of physical exercise, mostly running. One day we went for a hill walk and it was really beautiful. But by the end of it, we were so tired. All we wanted to do was eat.
We want food.
We had a quick medical checkup and we learned some basic stuff like tying knots, pitching a tent, first aid, the equipment we would be using, and how to pack that equipment. In the evenings, we also had some yoga. We learned artificial rock climbing on this magnificent wall built in the campus itself. It is one of the best rock climbing walls in India. And that is Mohit sir, one of our instructors. He was showing us how it's supposed to be done, and when he was doing it, it was looking pretty easy. But when we tried it, it was so difficult. We just kept falling off. On some days, we would trek to Tekla for the rest of our rockcraft training. Once we reached, we had some intense training in store for us. Food is literally all I can think of right now. We would get food in those silver boxes called mess tins, and that's my breakfast. We had to wash our own mess tins and clean the campsite as well. On some days we would come back the same day, but on some days we had to stay there itself. So for that we had to pitch tents. And that's our messy tent. We returned to the institute by bus and we were so tired by then that we would just pass out as soon as we sat in the bus. By this point, the routine was really getting to us.
By the time we finish yoga, it's pollen time. And by the time we fall in, it's dinner time. And by the time we finish dinner, it's like lights off time.
And by the time we sleep, it's wake up call.
And it goes on.
NIM Thug Life. NIM Thug Life. NIM Thug Life.
But a few things here and there really kept us going. Like sometimes we got to play volleyball. They even made us watch Vertical Limit dubbed in Hindi, and it was hilarious. We had to move to the mountains for the next 14 days for the rest of our training. So we set out early in the morning, all set for 3 days of continuous trekking to reach the base camp.
Keeping the bag up on the bus is such an idea.
Our journey from hostel to Bukki was by bus and the route was very scenic. From there we trekked to Tel camp. Apparently the name Tel camp was given because वहाँ पहुँचते सबका तेल निकल जाता है. Which is 100% true because our backpacks weighed 18 kgs. And on top of that, every group had to carry a 4 kg rope turn by turn. As soon as we reached, we just dropped our bags and fell down on the ground. Because we were exhausted and our shoulders and backs were hurting so much. So we just relaxed for a while and enjoyed our beautiful campsite. We were so proud of ourselves after the day's trek.
How's the Josh
We had no idea that the next day's trek to Gujarrat was going to be even worse. We walked continuously for 10 hours and we were dead tired.
फिर देख
said 20 minutes ago that it is just 10 minutes away. You're gonna reach very soon.
Our shoulders and legs began to hurt, and the weight of our backpacks was killing us. On top of that, it started thundering and drizzling, and the instructors would just not let us sit down because they had to make sure we reach before the weather gets worse. When we reached the campsite, it was raining really heavily. The rainwater began to seep into our tents, and all our stuff started to get wet. We started feeling extremely cold. We layered up and packed ourselves in sleeping bags, but it wasn't helping. I don't know if you guys can hear the thundering and lightning outside, but I have packed myself inside my sleeping bag, and I have worn thermals, fleece t-shirt, a feather jacket, and this sleeping bag. And I'm still cold. It rained the entire night, but thankfully the weather cleared up in the morning. We started our trek to the base camp, which was relatively short and easy. As soon as we reached, we realized that the base camp has the most beautiful view. This is where we would be spending the next 9 days. Can you imagine? So we pitched our tents and settled in. Our training resumed the very next day. We started for the glacier at 7 in the morning. It's where our icecraft training was going to take place. The route was a bit difficult because we were walking through the moraine area. But after walking for an hour, we finally reached. This is the wall on which we would be practicing, and it looked so dangerous at first because there was so much rockfall happening on it. We were wondering how we're going to train here. But our instructors were kind enough to clean it so that we could train safely. Over the next 5 days, we trained really hard.
Yeah, you ready? Yes, sir! Okay, come on!
We learned ascending and descending on ice, and we also learned how to pitch an ice piton. If you screw it into the ice, then it just stays there. So we tied our ropes to it using all the knots that we had learned and started practicing climbing. We also did some jumaring and some rappelling. We learned how to cross a crevasse. And also how to rescue someone if they fall into a crevasse. And then one day our training got cancelled due to bad weather. It was snowing so much that we couldn't even manage to get our breakfast. It was getting completely wet on the way. But nobody complained because we were finally going to get a rest day. So that day we just stayed in and watched a movie.
It's really cold and it's raining, and God alone knows how we're going to have tea. But I'm sure it's going to be the best tea of my life.
For snowcraft, we went to a different area. The route was quite scenic and we saw lots of flowers on the way. We were going to learn how to stop ourselves while falling down a steep slope. So we practiced and practiced all the different ways of falling down. It was scary in the beginning, but it ended up being a lot of fun. We all got really wet and started feeling really cold later on. We also had bruises from falling down so many times, but it was all worth it. Because in that moment, I experienced sheer joy and happiness. I was just out there on a beautiful mountain without a worry in the world, holding my amazing friends that I had made less than 20 days ago that now felt like a family. Just sliding away to happiness. It was definitely one of the best moments of my life. After training, we would have lunch. The food was usually basic, but some days they would surprise us with gulab jamun or halwa. गुलाब जामुन की एक्साइटमेंट इतनी ज़्यादा है कि लोग यहाँ से भी स्नैपचैट करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
ये स्वीट सी गुलाब जामुन है।
And trust me guys, when you've been eating dal rice and roti sabzi continuously for the last 20 days, even normal halwa tastes like the best thing you've ever had. कैसा लग रहा है हलवा खा के?
वो दिल हलवा हलवा हो गया।
And after lunch, we would have lectures. Most of our instructors had summited Everest, so they were sharing their experiences with us. On some days, we would get some extra time to play games and have fun.
मेरे सपनों की रानी कब आएगी तू आई
We had a lot of fun, no doubt, but I would like to highlight that living at the base camp was pretty hard. Some of the girls fell really ill and they started showing symptoms of AMS, so they had to be sent back down to the hostel. I mean, living at that altitude is no joke. We would get tired and breathless really quickly due to low blood oxygen levels. It was also insanely cold up here. I just couldn't get out of my sleeping bag in the mornings, and I'm not proud of it, but sometimes I would skip brushing because the water was ice cold, okay, and my hands would just freeze. I would stop having water from 6 pm itself because if I had to pee at night, then I would have to walk all the way to the toilet in the cold. Luckily, we had installed toilets at base camp because at tail camp we had to do it in the open. Also, there was absolutely zero network here. Sometimes we would get to make calls using the satellite phone at a cost of 50 rupees per minute. Surprisingly, a postman would come up to the base camp every 3 or 4 days. So I sent a little postcard to my best friend from 13,000 feet all the way down to Mumbai. I've never really sent a postcard in my life, so I was super excited about that. The final day of our training had arrived. We had to gain a height of 15,400 feet at Machhadhar. We were told to climb as fast as we can because if we didn't make it in time, we would be asked to turn around. So everyone tried their level best. Even though we were tired and breathless, we refused to give up. As soon as we reached base camp, trainees from the advanced course were standing there to congratulate us. So we felt all the more proud of ourselves, and it suddenly hit us that our training is finally over.
Group number 2, आपने खुश है?
The next day, we said goodbye to our beautiful base camp and headed down to tail camp. We were sad to be leaving, but we were happy that the hard part was over. We walked for 15 kilometers and descended about 4,000 feet in a matter of 7 hours until we finally reached tail camp. We relaxed a bit and then we had a bonfire. तूने आखिरी बार नहाया कब था? कितने दिनों से नहीं नहाया?
1 days back. Don't look at me and don't smell me, please.
बदबू आ रही है?
बहुत ज़्यादा.
What is the first thing you will eat after going to the city?
Pasta, pizza, Maggie and momos, yeah! हम तो पहले जाएंगे spa कराएंगे spa.
The next day we left from tail camp. We walked for about 7 kilometers and suddenly everyone's phone started buzzing. We finally had network after 2 whole weeks and we got really excited. We reached this small village called Bhukki. Bye! And after walking a little more, we went back to the hostel by bus. We couldn't believe that it was over. We had done it and we were finally back in one piece. I can't even begin to tell you how happy we were. Do you want to eat more or do you want to take a shower more?
I want to eat. I'm hungry. First things first.
I want to take a shower.
And eat. And eat.
But take a shower first.
And eat.
But take a shower.
No possible.
We had only just started to relax when they announced that we would be having a written exam the next day. Everyone started to panic and we were studying till late in the night.
फट रही है.
थोड़ी सी.
The next day we had our graduation ceremony and one of the girls actually knew how to do eyebrows, so we thought might as well. And finally the special moment had arrived. I almost had tears in my eyes when the ice axe was pinned to my chest. To this date, I feel it is the most hard-earned graduation of my life. Because a lot of us gave up many times during the course and really did not think that we would be able to do the things we actually ended up doing. We overcame our fears and weaknesses, pushed each other to do our very best every single day. And finally we were here, having completed the course successfully. It filled us with a feeling of real accomplishment and pride. It was a very special moment in all our lives. आपको कोर्स कंप्लीट करने पे कैसा लग रहा है? How are you feeling?
Feels like, you know, first day was yesterday only, and we had a lot of fun, a lot of learning, and I would consider this course as a major milestone of my life.
We have achieved something after a long time. This is the hardest thing we've ever done.
We had a mini talent show at night and then we stayed up talking and laughing. This would be the last time we would all be together, and that made me terribly sad. I just knew I was going to miss them so much.
Himanshu, please, you have also cried. I've seen she's crying too also. You cried during the ceremony. Okay. Please.
After spending so much time together in such harsh conditions, we got to know each other really well. Because no one can act fake in conditions like that, so we had formed a really strong connection. It felt like only yesterday when I had reached the hostel, feeling scared and nervous, surrounded by a bunch of strangers, and now we had become such close friends. But sadly, it was time to go home. We exchanged phone numbers and promised to stay in touch. We left the hostel with a heavy heart, a bag full of dirty clothes, countless bruises, unforgettable memories, amazing friends, and one very special ice axe. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are also passionate about trekking and climbing, then I would strongly recommend this course to you. The only way to experience the adrenaline is to go and see for yourself. Don't worry, it's nothing superhuman, it's nothing you can't handle with a little bit of preparation, so don't let anything hold you back and just go for it. And if you have any friends who would like to watch this or would like to go for this someday, then do share it with them. And if you have actually decided to go for the course or you have already registered, then I made a separate video in which I will be giving you all the information about the course. I've answered questions like how to apply for the course, how much does it cost, what you should pack for the course, what workouts you should do to get physically fit and stuff like that. And I'm going to leave the link for you in the description, so do check it out. Lastly, I love trying out new adventurous stuff like this and going to new places, so I'll be making more videos about my adventures. And if you want to see where I'm going next, then subscribe to my channel and I'll see you soon.